all these offences I'm talking about have been on the news, even though the mainstream media has tried to suppress a lot of this.
Yeah.
Been on the news, but the English population, the population of the UK, know these were committed by brown people. So there was a soldier stabbed, hacked to death in Kent.
Yeah.
He was killed, wasn't he? I think he did die.
No, he's not died.
He's not died, but
Yeah.
he was hacked. He was stabbed 70 times.
Yeah.
In Kent. Again.
By a Nigerian immigrant.
By a Nigerian immigrant. Okay. There was a woman of 62 killed on a canal path in Kent.
By two Somalians.
Mother of 6 by 2 Somalians.
A man and a woman Somalian.
A man and a woman Somalian. So the crossbow killings, I only found out recently, the guy who did that was a Muslim. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I'm not aware of that at all.
Right. So you know the crossbow killing of the BBC presenter?
Yeah.
The guy who did that was, I believe, was a Muslim. Tell me if I'm wrong, readers, but
right.
I'm aware of that. So, and then we've had the Hare Hill riots as well. And there may be, I don't know if there's anything else, but so we're all watching the news.
Well, of course, did you see yesterday in Southend?
Southend, yes, yesterday in Southend.
With it looked like a medieval sword battle.
Yes,
of black people with machetes.
Yes, so there were black people with machetes.
Police stood there and went, "There's nothing we can do."
Well, I don't blame the police.
Oh yeah,
because the guys were running around with massive knives.
Yeah, all of them.
And by the way, in the background, there was a children's fair.
Yeah.
You could hear the kids screaming on the fair rides and things like that. They were doing this literally 100 metres away.
So Southend is a bit like Southport.
Yes.
It's a holiday resort.
Yes, it's a holiday resort, yeah. So I'm going to come on to what happened in Southport last night in a minute. But the point I'm making here is all these events in July, brown people, coloured people, and we know some of them are immigrants, first generation immigrants. So you're going through these events one by one, and please carry on. But this is the point I'm trying to make. We're seeing this now, aren't we? We're seeing, and is this what you're seeing as well? Are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Okay.
I wrote about this day.
Right.
That the reason why Southport kicked off last night and the Manchester Arena bomber didn't kick off 7 years ago was things have changed. Everyone's eyes are open now.
Yeah.
We can see more violence in our towns and cities, and it's nearly always black and brown people. We look at the newspapers of who's been arrested for rape, murder, fraud, you name it, and they're always foreign-looking people with foreign names, and people are going, this isn't good enough. And that's not to say that all foreign people and all people with foreign names are committing crime, because they're not. But you look at the percentage compared to the native population of the country, and black and brown people and immigrants are dramatically overrepresented in nearly every crime stat you can see in this country and across Europe. And people have got their eyes open now, and we can see it. And
to some extent, with the greatest of respect, and my dad's from the West Indies, there's always been a higher percentage of crime from West Indians, for example, in this country. I think it's the nature of the crime we're seeing now that is maybe opening people's eyes more. I think
it's not the nature; it's the volume.
Yes, is it the volume?
It's the volume.
Yeah.
Immigrants have always committed more crime.
Yeah.
Because by definition they're always poorer people.
Yeah.
Of the society they've left to come here because they've come for a better life. I'd say every single culture in the world is substandard to the British culture. And in that controversial statement there, I also mean French culture and German culture and Belgian culture.
Yeah.
This is the greatest culture in the world.
Yeah.
So they're coming here with a substandard culture, more prone to violence, more prone to criminality, more prone to fraud. Why? Because they're the countries they came from.
Yeah.
So we've always had more crime from immigrants, but it's the volume now. And the reason why the volume is shot up is because of the volume of mass immigration. So we're seeing it more. And because these people are living within communities who find that socially acceptable, there's less constraints for now to be criminals, to do the things they did in the homeland. I would imagine the first wave of immigrants, from the Windrush generation, they were living in streets with white people.
Yeah.
They would have learned, we don't throw our rubbish in the backyard, we don't do this, we don't do that.
Yeah, my father was of that generation. My father was actually not somebody who would throw rubbish in, but he was more English than most English people in terms of his behaviours and his culture. But we lived, you know, my parents lived in a
Cheek
street.
by jowl, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a lot of our customs and what to do and what not to would have rubbed off on
Correct.
people. They would have
Yeah.
learned it over time. Now you move to a community in 9 streets that are all Somalians.
Yeah.
And it's little Somali, it's little Mogadishu. Or you're down the road and it's little Bangladesh. And so you're not rubbing up against anybody else. You come over here with your set culture, your set beliefs, your traits, and you live here just like you would have lived in your homeland. So there's no changes anymore. So these types of behaviour that we find wrong and we find criminal are just happening behind closed doors in those communities because it's perfectly acceptable. There was a guy the other day, it was a court case, Bangladeshi man came over here 20 years ago, got an arranged marriage 2 years ago to a 24-year-old. Nice if you can get it at 40. Didn't like her, killed her. I think he chopped her.
Was she
up.
Bangladeshi as well?
Yeah, Bangladeshi. So
this happened in the UK.
All in the UK.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're importing violence, we're importing murderers, we're importing the victims of murderers now. Did you enjoy that video? I think you did. Come on now, hit that bell, subscribe, comment. Let's build this channel. I need more followers, I need more subscribers. Be part of the journey. See you soon.